So I am getting much better at posting, don't you think? So I hope you guys are enjoying these videos. I'm sorry if they're not like super fancy. On another note, holy cow. Okay, so I made this video 2 days ago and it like blew up on TikTok, like tons of questions. So I'm gonna go into in depth. So hopefully if you're here from TikTok, let me know. All right, so what I use every day to brush, the Colgate Optic White Renewal. As I mentioned in the video, it's got 3% hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide is what makes your teeth whiter. It is what's in most whitening systems. Then my 2 recommendations for you would be either Sensodyne. They do have a whitening and a non-whitening version of those toothpaste, and Pro Enamel. Pro Enamel also has a whitening version and a non-whitening version. I would not recommend this if you have weakened enamel. First of all, let's talk about what enamel is. Enamel is like the first layer. So like, you know, your skin has like 5 layers. Your teeth really have like 3 layers. Like your teeth, although they're very strong because the enamel is actually, your teeth are actually the strongest substance in your body. That's why we can eat like animal bones and all of that stuff. And even like, you know, if you bit someone, you could really hurt that person because your teeth are ridiculously strong. But do not use your teeth as tools. Do not. That is just looking for you to chip a tooth. It's inevitable and it happens to everyone. First of all, I do not recommend that you use hydrogen peroxide like just on its own in your mouth. No. Diluted wouldn't be my advice to do it. The reason for that being is that the hydrogen peroxide in this is really low. The hydrogen peroxide that I have in the whitening system that I'm going to show you is higher. I put that whitening system in the custom trays and then I put it in my mouth, and I really only put a tiny bit because it's just supposed to go on your teeth. It's not supposed to get into your gum area. Please also do not use baking soda. I have valid reasons for that. Primarily, it's because they're not great for your gums, and 2, it is abrasive. It can really irritate your gums, basically. So because of that, it wouldn't be my recommendation. So I know that's one question that I got a lot. Once you have poor or weak enamel, you cannot get it back. Same thing with your gums. If your gums start to recede from your teeth, all you can do is prevent the recession from getting worse. A lot of people think that they have sensitive teeth, and it's not really the case. It's usually gum recession. Some people do have sensitive teeth though. Number 2, going on that whole enamel rant, it is not always because of poor oral hygiene. Sometimes it is genetic, and sometimes we do it to ourselves. I know I used to do this with lemons, with tequila shots, or even when I was a kid, I used to love to eat lemon like that. Do not do that. That's literally acid on your enamel, on your teeth. Unfortunately, some of you can blame your parents for your weak enamels. But basically, if you've had weak enamel as a kid, you're probably going to have weak enamel as an adult. There's really nothing you can do to fix it. The only thing you can do is honestly either get veneers or crowns, which I don't have either. I spent a lot of time embracing. This is the toothbrush I use. Is this the best toothbrush in the world? I don't know. I've really only used 3 toothbrushes. This is the Oral-B. This is like the fancy one. I got it from my office. Before this, I did use the Sonicare. Before that, I used a manual toothbrush. Which do I think is better? I think the Oral-B one is the best one, but I have my reasoning. I personally like the Oral-B because it rotates, as I'm doing right now, and it pulsates back and forth. You can't actually see the motion as I'm doing it, but that's the reason that I like it. I forgot to mention. So what does the Sonicare do as opposed to the Oral-B brush? The Sonicare actually just, I think it just does this motion or this motion, I believe. It either does this motion or just this motion, but it doesn't do the 2 motions like the Oral-B. Why is that better? Honestly, it's because with this brush, I find a lot of people just do this. That's not brushing your teeth. You have to actually brush your teeth. With the Sonicare, I find that people tend to brush their teeth more because it only performs the 1 motion. First and foremost, a question that I don't think anybody asked me, but I want to answer right now. I have no idea why hard bristle toothbrushes exist. I have no idea why medium bristle toothbrushes exist. You should only be using a soft bristle toothbrush. Why? This is the best analogy that I've come up with. Would you wash your car with steel wool? No, I'm sure a lot of you are like, no, that's dumb. Exactly. So why would you clean your teeth with basically steel wool, like, because those bristles are hard. No, save those really hard bristles for like smoothing out your edges, your baby hairs, all of that. Do not use that on your teeth, please, please, please. Brushing your teeth, also, it's not about how hard you're brushing, it's about the technique you're using. So I think that the sonic hair is more user friendly for people who maybe don't have the best technique when brushing your teeth. I have not tried the Quip. I've heard good things about it, but I have personally never tried it. As long as the bristles are soft, I think that that is good. As long as your brushing technique is on point, then yes, get that toothbrush. And if you want to have a manual, which I travel with a manual, I think the most important, I don't know who like made this up. Like, this works for this brush, but for a manual toothbrush, if I was wiping a table and I was just going like this, am I getting rid of the dirt or am I just moving it around? Exactly. So with a manual toothbrush, like this. So with a manual toothbrush, you want to brush your teeth like this. It'll take some getting used to. I promise it's not going to come overnight. But you basically want to throw the dirt off your teeth. To sum it up, you want to do 45-degree angle, medium to light pressure, and you want to brush your teeth for 2.5 minutes. Why 2.5 minutes? Everybody always says, oh, you know, I've heard 2. Because when you put 2 minutes, nobody actually does it for 2 minutes. So if you put 2.5 minutes, you'll brush your teeth for 2 minutes. It's like pseudoscience. Okay, the other thing I got a ton of questions on. This, the Philips Zoom kit. Most offices use Philips Zoom. It's way better than the Opalescence. Opalescence is Boost. So if your office does Boost, do I think it's not good? No, it does work. This works better though. How do I use the Zoom kit? This is not a whitening pen. A lot of people were asking me that. It actually comes with a tip. In here, in this case, now that you can see it, in this case are my whitening trays. I made these at my office. I took molds of my teeth impressions. I know we all hate them, but it is imperative to this. Then what I do is I scalp the edges, which means I cut the edges off because I only want the whitening thing to hit, again, my teeth, not my gum area, because it'll irritate my gums. And I basically take teensy tiny little drops, like maybe 5 drops, and then I pop them in for about 30 minutes, and that's about it. There's no light, there's nothing like that. I see a lot of people using the lights, Smile Brighter, Go White, White Smile, I forget all of those different ones you see the influencers use. The things that I have found with those: one, most of the lights are activating the gel at all. It's like a gimmick. I'm not saying all of them, but I'm saying a lot of them. 2, the concentration of hydrogen peroxide usually is like what's in this toothpaste. It's like 3 to 5%. Again, not saying all of them, but most of them, so it's not going to do much. And 3, they don't come with custom trays, so people are going to irritate their gums. Sometimes I've seen also people wear them for like an hour, which that's going to hurt your teeth. Of course that's going to hurt your teeth. Do I get sensitivity? Yes, if I do it too much. And I'll know because you'll get little like pings that just, it's not bad, but it just doesn't feel good. What to do if you do a whitening session and you do get pings or your gums are irritated? This is going to be my 2 recommendations. 1, warm saltwater rinses. 2, you definitely want to grab some vitamin E oil. Buy it from Trader Joe's, buy it anywhere basically, just the vitamin E oil, the little pills, and then just pop them wherever it's like kind of stinging a little bit. You're good to go. I know also everybody was asking me to link it. I reached out to Philips and to see if they had a way for me to link. Hopefully they'll get back to me soon so I can tell you guys, because that is the best one I have used. Again, I have used Opalescence. I've used the at-home one. I didn't really see a big difference. Gerard Cosmetics used to be like a different branch and offered that one. I didn't like that one. I felt like it stained my teeth. Smart Mouth Rinse. I'm glad that I found this on Amazon, and you can get it at Target as well. It's going to be linked down there if you want to buy it. Why do I like this more than TheraBreath? I like this because I honestly feel like it keeps my breath fresher longer than TheraBreath. 1. 2, the taste, I mean, none of this stuff actually tastes delicious, but this one doesn't burn like Listerine. The TheraBreath, it's not that it burns, it's not as pleasant. Like this, I can keep it in my mouth for a little bit and like swish it around, because you are supposed to swish around with this. Don't just put it in your mouth and hold it there. Swish it around, because the swishing motion is what gets in all those little crevices in between your teeth and gets everything out. Last but not least, Cocoa Floss. Why do I like Cocoa Floss? First of all, you guys, I'm sure, have heard of the coconut oil pooling, like people would clean their teeth with coconut oil. This is actually infused with coconut oil. It also has flavors besides mint, which I know some of us, me included, sometimes are not a big fan of mint. Is this pricey? A little bit, but you know what's even more expensive? Having to go get a cavity fixed, a root canal, a crown, and beginning with flossing, you're preventing those things from happening. So it is worth the investment in the long run. The other reason that I really like Cocoa Floss, and a lot of people ask, they're like, why? Why is it so good? And just to prove that I'm not being biased, I have Glide. I used to use Glide. I used to really like Glide. Glide is really good if you have tight teeth because look at the Glide. It's flat, but it's like thick when you put it flat, right? So if you have tight teeth, it'll get nice and good in between your teeth. Look at the Cocoa Floss. It's thick, but it is thick in a way that it's like wrapped around itself so that it will grab like kind of like a loofah. And I think that's the best explanation that I've seen. Somebody put that comment in my video. It's like a loofah for your, in between your teeth. It like scrapes against your teeth. So Cocoa Floss over Glide. And if you've seen those wax flosses, you'll notice that they're like half the size of these. And if it's really half the size of this, can you imagine what it's really pulling out of your mouth? Not much, right? That's why I prefer Cocoa Floss. You want your floss to wrap around your tooth. So see how it's wrapped around my finger, and you're gonna go like this, and then you're gonna pull. And then you're gonna go on the other side of your finger. You're gonna make sure that you're making that same C motion. Sorry, I don't think you can see this. But you're gonna make sure that you're making that C motion again, and then pull. And that's how you're supposed to floss. If you're just going like this, you're not doing anything. This is not flossing. And floss both sides of your tooth. That's the front of the tooth and the back of the tooth. On all your teeth. The last question that I got, and I think this was like, this is the question that I answered the most. Water picks. Water picks work. Yes, they do. Are water picks better than flossing? No, they're not. Why? Because the water will not give you as the same amount of pressure your fingers will with the floss. If you've ever had like an adult cleaning, they use that instrument to vibrate the bacteria and the plaque and the buildup and the calculus out of your mouth. And then that creates, right, it creates the pressure. It's like breaking it down. So a shot of water, like a single stream of water, is not going to be able to replicate that same amount of pressure. However, if you're not going to floss for whatever reason, please at least, at the very least, get the water pick. But my recommendation would be for you to do both. If I know that there's going to be days, use the water pick on those nights where you're just like, I'm not going to floss, or those days where you're like, I'm not going to floss today. Okay, then use the water pick. Yeah, because it's faster. I know a lot of people have like texture issues with the floss. A lot of people, it hurts. By the way, if it hurts to floss, one, you're either doing it wrong, or two, you need to do it more. It should not hurt that bad to floss. Number 3 thing I'm going to address that I don't think anybody really brought up, but if your gums are bleeding, your gums are not supposed to bleed. Your mouth is not supposed to bleed. If they're bleeding, it's because they're not clean. It's like your gums like crying. We always tell the kids because they're sad because they want to be cleaned more. As far as what order you should do all of this in, I personally brush, floss, then rinse. My thought behind it is that the stuff that I get out of my teeth, and maybe some that might be like a little bit looser but hasn't come out, then with the rinse I can get out. Some people like to floss, brush, and then rinse. Nobody has a definite answer for what is like the most effective way, but do what feels right for you. I think that's the most condensed that I can put all that information out there in. I will be back with the toothbrushing video because I definitely want to share that with you guys. I will also share with you guys how to floss. And if you have any other questions, please leave them down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!